Hi, I'm Rachel, and this is my BookTube Spin number 8 video. The BookTube Spin was brought over to BookTube by Rick McDonnell, and the premise of this TBR game is that every contestant creates a list of 20 books using whatever parameters they want to, I guess. I think usually it was supposed to be classics that you wanted to get to back when this was on a blog, I guess, but I use different parameters. But anyway, I have a list of 20 books that I will share with you. And then Rick used to do a spinny thing. Well, he spun a digital wheel twice and would, generate two numbers that would coincide with your list, and then you'd read one or two of the books. And anyway, Rick had been doing this, I guess, for the last 7 times, roughly once per quarter for the last couple years. But I think since he's decided to go on a BookTube hiatus, so I don't see anybody else reviving this TBR game for the final quarter of 2022. But I've been having a lot of fun with it, so I thought I could just do it myself. So anyway, the way that I play this game is that I have a list of 20 books. I keep 4 general categories the same. I start with Jewish fiction, then general fiction, then science fiction, and then fantasy. And yeah, as I said, Rick has been spinning twice. So you could read both books, but my TBR tends to be so long, I decide only to read one of the books, and I created a new game rule for myself that I would read the book in the category I read least recently from for this TBR game. So I'll just post here some of the most recent genres that I've read from for the past several, TBR spins, BookTube spins. So yeah. And so without further ado, I will share my list for you for this spin number 8. Most of the books are in fact the same quarter to quarter, but there'll be a few differences, and I'll tell you what they are as I go through them. So starting with group number 1, which is Jewish fiction, book number 1 is The Last Cruise by Kate Christensen, a former journalist turned farmer, a Hungarian sous chef, a Tel Avivian violinist, and others on the final voyage of a 1950s vintage ocean liner. Number 2 is Inappropriation by Lexi Freeman. A Jewish misfit at an Italian girls' school is ostracized when her sexual self-discovery collides with PC culture. Number 3 is A Good Day for Seppuku by Kate Braverman. These are short stories about girls on the brink of adulthood, women on the verge of breakdowns, family drama, and Jewish identity. Number 4 is We Regret to Inform You by Ariel Kaplan. This is YA about a Russian-American Jewish girl. She's an overachiever who's rejected from all the colleges she applies to, and there's an admissions scandal in the wings. Number 5 is Queen Solomon by Tamara Faith Berger. It's a coming-of-age story about a disturbed Canadian teenager narrator, and it's over the summer when his family hosts an Ethiopian Jewish girl from Israel. Then I move on to general fiction, where actually I did swap out all the books in this section. These are all new. So starting with number 6, I have The Lager Queen of Minnesota by J. Ryan Straddle. Its family drama ensues in the Midwest when a father leaves his inheritance entirely to one daughter. Number 7 is With Teeth by Kristen Arnett, a queer mother's dysfunctional relationship with her son. Number 8 is What Could Be Saved by Lisa O'Halloran Schwartz. These are dual timelines taking place in both Bangkok and Washington, D.C., and it follows a family with a missing child. Number 9 is Nellie Dean by Allison Chase, which is Wuthering Heights fan fiction from the POV of my favorite character, which is kind of like the original, but hopefully this story is more focused on her. And then number 10 is Transcendent Kingdom by Ya Jesse. A neuroscience doctorate student from a Ghanaian American family oscillates between reason and faith after the loss of her brother. Next, I move on to science fiction and back to repeat titles, starting with number 11, Provenance by Anne Leckie. A fugitive looks to reclaim stolen treasure in space and finds herself embroiled in an alien plot, literally. Number 12 is Ancestral Night by Elizabeth Bear. A routine salvage mission in space goes awry when an ancient technology is uncovered. Number 13 is Pushing Ice by Alistair Reynolds. A rockhopper crew is tasked with tailing one of Saturn's moons as it breaks orbit and leaves the solar system. Number 14 is Dark Orbit by Carolyn Ives Gilman. Alien contact on a distant planet with more of a murder mystery plot than my usual, but we'll go with it. And then number 15 is Martians Abroad by Carrie Vaughn. This is YA about a young Martian girl who dreams of spacefaring but ends up getting sent to Earth instead. Womp womp. And my final category is fantasy. So going with number 16, The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. An estranged daughter is named heir to the king and thrust into a power struggle. Number 17 is The Ruin of Kings by Jen Lyons. A man discovers his fate is tied up with that of an empire, and he may be here not to save the world, but to destroy it. Number 18 is The Vanished Queen by Lisbeth Campbell. A woman vows to take down a despotic king and, surprise, surprise, finds herself embroiled in court politics. Number 19 is A Queen in Hiding by Sarah Kozloff. An orphaned princess becomes a guerrilla fighter and must assemble a group of rebels to take back her kingdom. And finally, number 20 is The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang. A young peasant girl discovers she has an unearthly power, but the war she fights for her god may cost her her humanity. Okay, and from here I'm going to do the spins on my phone. Very low tech going on here, but you'll get the real-time reactions. I have no idea what's coming, so without further ado, spinning twice. All right, so spin number 1 was 7 in general fiction. That's With Teeth by Kristen Arnett. And now I'm going for spin number 2. And spin number 2 was 16 in fantasy, The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. And that is the book I will be going for because I most recently read for the BookTube Spin in general fiction and a little less recently in fantasy. So yeah, I'm really excited about this series. I think N.K. Jemisin, you know, she's a very well-known speculative fiction author, is on to newer things at the moment. This is one of her earlier series, but it's certainly in line with what I seem to love in fantasy, with secondary worlds and, you know, politics and queens and all that sort of stuff. And I don't think I'll be reading my BookTube Spin book until December, but if I like the first book in the series, hopefully I can get to the rest in 2023. We shall see. Alrighty, so that about covers it for me now, and I will leave the Goodreads links for all 20 of these books listed down below in case you'd like to learn more about them. I'll also have a link to Rick's channel and to my TBR game playlist where I've played this game, and also my page 112 tag monthly, so stay tuned for that. I will be back on this channel, hopefully pretty imminently, to do an homage video for my cat Missy, who died in September, and I have a bit of footage of her from the past few years in the back of my BookTube videos, so I'm going through my mourning stage and trying to remember her and putting up these videos. So I have that coming up. And also, in terms of more bookish content, I will put up one final Am Reading video in October sometime by the end of this week. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time.